All right, so tonight we're going to talk about the end of the year push. So I don't know about you guys, but I did not, like, I saw a meme and it said, 6 months until Christmas or something like that. And it was in June. And I'm like, what? Like, I feel like it comes so quick after, the summer kind of takes place. And so it really kind of like struck a chord with me. I'm just setting my timer so that I respect everybody's. Okay, I have 29 minutes. So I respect everyone's time. But and I looked at that meme and I was like, crap, like, am I even close to my goals? Do I even know yet, like, still what my goals are? Because I don't know about you guys, but I resist having to do something every single day. I hate routine. I hate schedules. I hate being like told what to do or like on a restricted, schedule. And I know that it's super important to write your goals down every single day. And so it kind of just caught me off guard. And then I went to Summit and I'm just changing some here real quick. I went to Summit and there we go. I got plugged into Josh Coates's, that sounds weird. But Josh Coates, he's a push coach. You probably have heard of him, but I got plugged into his mentorship group and I joined his, it's Push to Elite group for the next 5 months. And he talked about on our tracker, we have to write our goals down every single day, and just the same goals every single day. If you have a new goal pop in your mind, whatever. And it just kind of like, I kind of got butterflies because I'd never done that before. I have written my goals down before, but it's not something I did every single day that I looked at every single day. Periodically, every other day, maybe a couple times a week, whatever. I know what I'm working towards, but when it's right in front of you and you're looking at it every single day, there's something about that. It makes you so incredibly intentionally aware that you know exactly what you should be doing every single day. And I don't know about you, but I, for so long, would sit down and not have a clue what to do. I knew I needed to invite. I knew I needed to follow up. But I felt like I was missing so many things. And when we start to question and compare and not have our goals and not have our intention right in front of us every single day, that allows our blinders to open. That allows us to start comparing. That allows us to start questioning and hesitating in what we know and believe about ourselves. And he's really instilled in us, like, you are enough. Like, you are here on purpose. And I really wanted to translate that message to you guys tonight. And at the end, I'll give you some takeaways on, what you can start implementing or what you can continue implementing. But you guys, this business is so simple. It's so crazy simple. It is not complicated. It's hard work every single day because the hard work is the discipline. It's the busting through those no's. It's the growth, the self-growth. It's the, coming to terms with reality of where you are and where you want to be. And those things are difficult, but the business itself is very simple. You invite, you recruit, and you hit those milestones. You invite, you recruit, and you stay in phase one constantly. And I think we forget to stay in that phase one. I think we forget to stay in that, especially when we're trying to work towards a goal. We're trying to work towards, maybe a certain rank ourselves, and we selfishly just want to get to that point. So we keep making it about ourselves and not about our team. But when you're staying in that phase one of recruiting, inviting and recruiting, you are building that belief in yourself. You're building that growth. You're building that foundation that we need in this business to build on. And you are here on purpose. Just because we look on Instagram and we see all of these other, you know, successful coaches doing certain things. Their Instagram feed is perfect. You know, they have perfect curated content. Like everything is just perfect in our eyes. And we start to question and think, it has to be like that. If I don't have that, I'm not going to be successful. If I don't have the perfect post, guys, I haven't posted in like 3 days, I don't think. And it's not because I don't want to. It's not because I have nothing to say. It's just because I've been focusing on other things, and that's okay too. It doesn't have to be perfect. Your feed doesn't have to look like theirs. Your posts don't have to look like theirs. Your pictures don't have to look like theirs, because your message is not theirs. You are not them. You are not her story. You have your own, and you are in control of what happens in your business from here on out. You take the reins. You decide if you want to continue that momentum or start. Maybe you have no momentum. Maybe you need to start it back up. And the only way you gain momentum, it's not through more motivation to start doing something. The only way you gain momentum is literally by doing something, by sending that message, by calling that friend. I accidentally called one of my friends. I didn't mean to, but I accidentally called her. I was having a real tough brain fog day, and I accidentally called her. Because I meant to be calling somebody else, but I called her, and I was like, I said the wrong name, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I was looking at a message, like, oh hi, how are you? And like that conversation led into, by accident, her wanting to join my boot camp next month. And I'm just like, well, that was weird. Like, why didn't I call you before? Why didn't I invite you before? Why didn't I ask you before? Because we set up these roadblocks. We set up these barriers in our brain. We set up these preconceived notions. We set up this comparison game. We set up this, non-urgency for our business. And we forget that we're in control of what happens, the outcome. And I want you to go forward in these next 5 months. And I want you to imagine that you come down the street, driving down the street from going out to dinner with your significant other, your kids are at home, or maybe your puppies or whoever are at home with a sitter or whoever, and your house is on fire, and you're driving down the street and you see the smoke, you see it's your house on fire. What would you do? You probably won't even get to the driveway before you barrel out of that car and start pounding down the windows, breaking windows, pounding down the door, because your babies are inside, your dogs are inside, your pets are inside, your loved ones are inside. If it were my house and those are my kids in there with a babysitter, the last thing I would be doing is the one time I can't find my phone. Oh, it's timing me. The last thing I would be doing is sitting on here scrolling, trying to find a locksmith, trying to find somebody to come help me, trying to find, something somewhere, because there's urgency. It's important. It matters. It needs to happen now. I need to bust down that door now. I need to break those windows now. And that's the type of urgency you need in your business, because you are doing this business. You are building this business for a reason. You're building this business to get out of where you are right now. And I want to emphasize that you need to have that fire in your belly. You need to have that fire in, this house is on fire and I need to move and I need to work and I need to put in the actions. I need to implement everything I learned at Summit. I need to implement something. The PD I'm doing every single day, I need to implement something. The National Wake Up Call that I'm listening to every week, I need to implement. You're wasting your time if you're not implementing anything you're learning. And you have to have that fire in your belly, knowing that your story, your purpose matters. You're here on purpose. You didn't join this business by accident. And if you did, well, you're still here. And that matters, and that means something. So how important, how urgent are your goals? Because why are they important to you? How is that going to impact your family? How is that positively going to change your life, change your children's life, change your marriage, change your relationships, change your situation, right? When things get hard, we have to lean in. We have to lean TF in, right? You don't call yourself a failure. You don't stay and do nothing. You don't freeze. You don't say it's just because people don't like you, or because you aren't meant to do this, or it's not for me, or, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, even though it's not working. You adapt, right? You adapt, you get curious, you ask questions, you lean in, you ask yourself, why is this not working? What do I need to do? Who do I need to start becoming? And before that, what habits do I need to change every single day? Or what am I doing right now in my day with the habits that need to change? Because who you are right now is not who you are going to be. It's not who you're going to need to be to get to where you want to go. And that has always stuck with me. And it's always stuck in my brain. If I'm facing a barrier, a challenge, an objection, I'm feeling down on myself, I'm not feeling good enough, I'm letting that inner mean girl come in and talk in my brain, and, am I cut out for this? Do I deserve this? All these things that we say to ourselves. When that happens, you have to lean in. And you have to know that you're not going to be the same person. So who you are right now, it's okay. Take that pressure off yourself. Continue to adapt, continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to shift, and continue to flow. Continue that momentum of that flow. You're going to hit some rock. You're going to hit some wall. You're going to get some pushback. But are you going to let those challenges stop you and stay where you're at and sink until you drowned? Because you're doing this because you don't want to be where you're at right now, right? So what's not working? How can I change it up? What's my plan? How can I move forward? What do I need to change? This isn't a once in a lifetime moment in your business. This business is a journey, right? It's just like our fitness journey. It's just like our health and fitness journey. This is a business. It's a journey. If you were to open a clothing store, typically brick and mortar businesses don't even break even until a year or two. And then they grow to profit. And some of you, a lot of new coaches in this business quit 3 months in. Or you stay stagnant for 4 years and feel stuck. But when you feel stuck, it just means you've stopped growing. It just means you've stopped adapting. It just means you've stopped your growth process, because your business will only go as far as you grow. Your income will always reflect your personal growth. And that's actually like reassuring. It's actually like, okay, cool. So if I just keep working on myself, if I just keep doing the things I need to do, even though there's resistance, even though, Josh in our Push Elite group, he tells us to do things, and other top coaches are suggesting things. And it's like, I feel that resistance. I feel like, okay, I know I need to do it. I just got to jump and I got to do it, because I know it's going to be uncomfortable. And those are the situations that change me and make me better. Those are the situations where your business shifts. So we need to stop analyzing and we need to start taking action. So what can you do right now to move you closer to where you want to be? Whatever your goals are. If it's diamond, how many people you need to be inviting every day. If it's 1-star, 2-star, 5-star, how many people you need to be talking to every day. Who on your team is ready to build, and how can you help them start building now? What do you need to do? Make a little to-do list and just brain dump and just let it all out and let it all come out on paper, whether it's with your business or not, because this business weaves in to all areas of your life, your marriage, motherhood, relationships, everything, your fitness, your nutrition, how you feel about yourself, how you respond to everyone else in your life. This business weaves into all of that. It's all a big ball meshed together. So what do you need to do right now? Brain dump. It might be you need to wake up, like what's the dominoes? You might need to wake up earlier now. You might need to stop letting your kids be your alarm clock in the morning. You might need to wake up earlier to get your workout done, to get your day started, to get your PD done, to get some invites sent out. So that come noon or come, supper time, you're not doing this on your phone when you're supposed to be spending time with your family. Just what are some things? Brain dump it out. Better communication with your family, your husband, whatever. And just know that when you are moving forward in your business, the yeses are going to build your business, but the no's are going to build you. And you have to get them. You have to take them. You have to receive them. And you have to let them shape you. Okay, this is a numbers game, right? And at the end of the day, guys, we got to get over ourselves. We seriously have to get over ourselves. I was going to drop the F-bomb, but we have to get over ourselves. And I know you guys probably wouldn't have cared, but if there's kids listening or whatever, my kids are listening too. My 5-year-old said, "Damn it," the other day. And I'm like, where'd you hear that? And my husband looks at me and he's like, oops. I mean, it's not the worst swear word ever. It's just words. So you have to get over yourself. You have to get over yourself. You have to stop being selfish in your pursuit to build this business. You have to stop being selfish in the pursuit to share your message. I'm not thin enough. I'm not, I don't have a big enough transformation. I don't make enough money, to be able to talk about the business. I, feel silly when I make this post, or I'm going to get judged if I make this post, or if I make this story, or, I'm not like her. I. It's not about you. It's not about you. Your invites, your sharing with value, your intent to impact, none of that's about you. Because when you're too consumed with that self-sabotage, that selfish sabotage, say that 5 times fast, you hold yourself back. You hold yourself back, and you not only do that, but you do a disservice to every single person that is waiting, hoping that you show up and share your message. People that you have not even met yet, that you don't even know exist, are sitting behind their computer at home waiting to see you and your message show up in their newsfeed. So you're not only letting, let me back up, you're not only letting your family down and your kids down and the people that love you down and yourself down when you hold yourself back from those fears and that negative self-talk and those disbeliefs that you have about yourself. You're not only letting those people down, but you're letting the people down that are needing to hear your story. Yours, not mine, not anyone else's on this call, but yours. And that's a responsibility you have to carry. As a coach, you call yourself a coach, it's time to step up and be a coach. It's time to take this seriously, and it's time to feel that pressure, because that pressure is a privilege, you guys. That pressure is a privilege. This business is not hard. This business is not hard at all. At all. But we make it so difficult based on the beliefs that we've told ourselves for so long, based on the lies. And that's all they are, you guys. That's all they are. They're lies that have become such a habit in our life that we've believed to be true. And habits can be changed, right? Habits can be changed. Hard is not this business. Hard is struggling to buy diapers for your babies. Hard is struggling to put food on the table. Hard is running up the stairs and being out of breath because you still have 30 pounds to lose. Hard is your joints aching every time that you go to do your workout and you have to do a jumping jack or a lunge or a squat. Hard is dropping your kids off at daycare and leaving and crying on the way to work because you know that it doesn't feel right. Hard is snapping at your family because you're so stressed out, because you hate your job, you feel empty and unfulfilled, and like you have no purpose. Hard is wondering, God, is this like, I know I'm meant for more. I know I'm meant to impact more. I know that I'm meant to do more. I know that I'm meant to lead. I'm different, but not doing anything about it. And that regret is hard. Hard is not being able to get time off from work when you have sick kids at home, or a loved one passes away and you're stuck at work because you haven't, or you just don't get paid that day. Hard is wondering how you're freaking going to pay your bills, how you're freaking going to pay your student loans. Hard is not answering your phone because the credit card company is calling you for the 20th time. Hard is arguing with your husband every single night about money. Think about your hard. Think about what is actually hard in your life. Those things are hard. Hard is getting out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning to get your miracle morning done before everyone else starts your day for you. It's hard. It's also hard to build a business online in the world we live in now, in the judgment and opinions and misconceptions. It is hard to put ourselves out there and to be so public on social media. But no matter what you choose, it's going to be hard. The business itself, building it, is not hard. So I want you to think about what is actually difficult in your life, and is this business worth it to you to get yourself out of those difficult situations, to stop the fighting in your family because you guys can't pay your bills, because you're broke, because you forgot to put gas in the car, or you chose not to because you didn't have any money in your bank account, or you can't do certain things for your children because sports or activities or whatever. You have that planted in your heart and in your soul for a reason. You have this business in you for a reason. And you have that drive. It's there. It's there. You're not going to give up easy. You're not going to give up easy. You're persistent. You're passionate. And you're who this business needs to build it. But you have to get out of your own way. And you have to take on that responsibility very seriously, like your family's future is on the line, because it is. We have to stop caring more about the opinions and judgment than we do the hopeful and the empowerees, because it's our job to show up. It's our job to share our story from that perspective of doubt and fear and hesitation, because we were there once. And the only person that can share it is you. Your situation is no different than anybody else's. You don't have it more difficult. You don't have it tougher. You're not the most unmotivated person in the world. You're not the most unambitious person in the world. You're not the only one that has a full-time job. You're not the only one that lives off of caffeine right now. You're not the only one going through postpartum depression and anxiety. You're not the only one that has 17 kids at home. Your situation is no different than anybody else's. There is somebody in this business that had it worse than you, or has it worse than you right now, that is leaps and bounds ahead of you, because they're not letting that stop them. They're not making excuses. Instead, they're taking action. And if they can do it, so can you. So can you. There's 3 things that you need to have at the end of the day. You need to have these. It's not motivation. I'm so sick of that word. If I hear motivation one more time, I'm going to punch my computer screen. Motivation has nothing to do with it. I don't even know why we talk about motivation. You need to have discipline. You need to have the discipline to show up no matter what. The discipline to do the best that you can do for your business to improve your story every single day. The discipline to push play and drink your Shakeology and follow your nutrition plan to better your results, which are going to better your invites. When you show up as the best product of the product that you possibly can, imperfectly. Notice I didn't say when you show up with a six-pack, when you show up ripped as AF, when you show up, with the perfect transformation story. No, when you just show up with the best results that you possibly can, imperfectly, for you, your business is going to organically happen. And I'm proof of that. I've gone through 3 pregnancies. I have had transformations after all of them. And I have people coming to me. And I don't say that to brag or I still have to go out and invite people and find new people. I don't say that to brag or to be cocky. I say that because your business will organically happen when you are consistent on social media, sharing something educational, entertaining, and empowering. Try to share one of those 3 things every single day. But when you're consistently showing up and you're consistently proving that our products actually work, people start to believe it. Just like what you had to see when you got started, right? The next thing you have to have, number 2, is focus. The guy who does nothing always gets complex first. For my team, my coaches, I know that they're not doing something when they come and ask me about that thing. Well, how do you talk to people? You talk to people. You have to start doing it to get practice, to get better at it, right? I could never sit down and be an accountant from day one. No training, no nothing. I couldn't sit down and do any of your guys' jobs and be successful at it and know how to do it without actually doing it and starting it and getting my feet wet and getting my hands dirty and trialing and erring and failing forward. You're going to fail forward in this business a lot. I hope you do. It's how you learn the fastest. It's not by reading, more trainings. It's not by watching more YouTube videos. It's not by doing this or that. If there's an area you need to specialize in, then go for it. Go hard at that area. Me, it was social media years ago, and all I did was train on social media. Then it was recruiting or something. So it was inviting and attraction marketing and all of that. And now it's leadership. So if there's something you need to work on and really hone in on, then yes, do some training every day on it, but implement. You have to implement. You have to not be the guy who does nothing and is always asking questions and always confused, because that's how you're going to learn the fastest, is by doing. Focus on what actually needs to be done and not what could be done. There are a million things that we could be doing as coaches, like creating ebooks and meal plans and, TikToking and trillering and, making our stories super pretty and this and that, and books, a million books that I have on my Amazon cart. My husband's like, you're not even reading the one that you just bought. There's so many things we could be doing. But what do you need to do right now to literally move yourself forward in 1 week? And then to move yourself forward the next week? Or if you're pushing for a really big goal, what do you need to really hammer down on? Maybe you're only inviting 5 people a day, or 3 or 1 to the business, literally saying, have you ever considered being a coach? And you need to up it to 10 or 20. You're like, where the hell do you find all these people? You have to go out and actively search for them. You have to do that work. You have to actively go to Instagram and go to, big brand accounts and go to who's following it and look at who you have in common, things you have in common with people, and take interest in somebody else's life and oh, she looks like she'd be fun to party with, in Summit. I want to see what she's about and what she's doing. And maybe like, is she somebody who I would love to have on my dream team? And then you network, because we're in network marketing. You go to her stuff, you like, you comment, you start to build a genuine relationship with. And when you start doing that, you're going to be able to build your number of invites. If you're not doing that and you're waiting for people to come to you, your business is never going to move. If I asked you to sell 5 challenge packs by tonight, 5 challenge packs by tonight, like go out and sell 5 challenge packs by tonight, text me at midnight and tell me that you did it, or when you're done. Like for my team, my coaches, I hope that they would bust ass and do it. Because I'm asking them to do it and I'm their coach, and what I tell them to do, they should be doing, right? Tell me what to do and I'll do it. But if I asked you to go sell 5 challenge packs tonight, what would you do? Would you go watch 3 trainings on how to invite or sell something? No, you'd go talk to people. You'd go in your inbox, you'd get on Facebook Messenger, and you'd start copy and pasting messages like crazy, right? What needs to be done, not what could be done. And then the third thing is determination. Discipline, focus, and determination. With literally everything in you, you have to be so determined, like it's going to cost your family's life something. Like you invested $300,000 into this business to start it, because that's what a typical brick and mortar business costs to open and get their feet on the ground. Average $300,000. You need to start acting like you invested that kind of money into this business, because not only can you grow it to that, you can grow it to however much you want. Hello, like the top earner in our company brings in like $3.5 million a year. Not because she got signed up first, not because we all fell under her, right? Because she saw the vision, she caught the vision, and then she worked her ass off. Like her life depended on it. And she treated it like a business instead of a hobby. So, what is your focus? Okay, what can you be doing right this minute, right this second? My timer went off, so I am going to, I'm going to give you just a couple things that you can like implement, and based on where you're at in your business, I'm just going to answer some of the questions that I had, and if you guys have any, you just use the chat box, okay? How to keep engagement after you've initially invited somebody. Like, how do you keep the conversation going, or how do you keep the, excitement happening? You have to keep things exciting everywhere, everywhere. You have to talk to that person who gave you excuses, who ghosted you, who went MIA, who, gave you objections. Like, you have to talk to that person on all platforms and answer their objection in a post, in an IG story, a Facebook Live, and address that objection so that they see you showing up and they know, not that you're talking to them, but they know that their objection isn't valid, isn't actually real. Their excuse isn't actually a thing. So you have to keep it exciting everywhere. Keep it exciting on all platforms. And when you go back to that conversation to follow up, they're going to have seen and heard you someplace else. And they're going to have seen and heard that objection being answered, or maybe come to terms with the fact that, like, okay, I get it now. A lot of times people just need it to be explained to them. The business, the products, our challenge packs, pricing, everything. But are we going to do it all in one message? Probably not. We're not just going to word vomit on them. That's a really good time to take it to a post and answer it in a post. I already kind of touched on the how do I find new people? How do I find new people and maybe gain new followers? And I kind of addressed it already. Just one tip is to go into either groups on Facebook or accounts on Instagram and actively go look for those people. I know groups on Facebook like hammer down a lot more, just with like people networking and stuff, depending on what kind of group it is. But you have to actively do that work. So you need to set aside an hour every day to go into Instagram. And I know on our team page, I have some training on this, but I think it's like follow 5 new people, comment on 5 different accounts, comment on 5 people's pictures, and then something else. So like set a goal every day. I'm going to follow 5 new people. I'm going to look for 10 pictures to comment on of somebody that it looks like I have in common with. That's the behind the scenes. Like, it's not sexy. It's not like glitzy and glammy and creating graphics and all of that, the fun stuff, right? But it's the necessary stuff to grow your network, to grow your contact list. Sharing your story, like on social media, content, things like that. You really just have to come from a place of where you were when you started. What doubts and what fears did you have? What problem did you need solving? When you saw your coach and you were attracted to her, what was she saying? It's going to be the same thing that you're saying, because it was the same problem that she answered for you. Building a Story Brand is a book about that, on how to kind of share your story. People just want to know, like, do you have the package that solves my problem? Either with the business or the products. What is the main problem that that person's trying to overcome? And how can you solve that? Not for the masses, not for everybody. Don't try to speak to everybody. Because when you try to speak to everybody, you do your story a disservice, because your story is not for everybody. You are not meant to work with everybody. You are not meant to attract everybody. But how can you solve that problem for that one person? I don't remember where I heard this, but I call it the BFF method. Talk to that person like you're talking to your best friend. Talk to that person like you are sitting down with your best friend and you are trying to solve her problem. What would you say to her? So the beginning of every month from here on out, sit down and think about what the one thing that you want to try to market for the month. Is it a challenge group? Is it a paid boot camp group? Is it, I hope it's not I hope a free group is not the only thing you're trying to market. I hope your free group is a default. I hope you're still inviting to the business. Is it a sneak peek that your coach is running or that you're running? And you're really trying to, push traffic to this. But pick one thing. You can still be running a couple different things. Like, I'm going to be running a sneak peek, and I'm still going to be inviting to my September boot camp, defaulting to a free group if they're, not interested in any of it. But what's the one thing that you're trying to market? And then you have to blast it and be consistent. If it's the one thing that I've seen top coaches do in the business on their stories and in their posts. No, we don't want to push product, and no, we hate to say like, oh, like I have a $10 off coupon for a challenge pack that's $140 or more. Like, you don't have to say that, but you have to really like push it and like do a beginning of the month push with that promoting and marketing, so that it's not come the time of the boot camp starting or the end of the month and you haven't hit Success Club, you have barely talked to anybody, you don't have any conversations going. And then it starts all over the next month because you're already behind. So like August, I would even say the weekend of like August, the second to last weekend in August is when I would sit down and kind of start coming up with your marketing plan for September. What group do you have that you can invite to? Because you have to think to actually get in a conversation with somebody to attract them, or you to be inviting and the conversation to actually start happening, and then for you to either give them more information or actually have them order and get their stuff. It's going to take a couple weeks. So if you're inviting to your September boot camp that's starting on the 2nd, like we're starting another group of another wave of people for Morning Meltdown on September 2nd. So I'm inviting now to that so that they can order, get their stuff. I can get conversations going, and it's not the end of the month. And I'm like, you know, having a success club, don't have anybody I'm talking to. In the beginning of each week, what do you want your stories to look like every day? If there's a sneak peek group that you're inviting to, you need to set up your stories on Canva ahead of time and use the Canva template so that you can save, upload to your phone, and then on Wednesday you literally can just upload, and you're not sitting there creating all of it at that time. What stories you need to create ahead of time, what invites, what posts, the call to actions in your post you need to start thinking of and curating, getting together. And then invites. What invites do you need to be focusing on, and to what? So those are just a couple things that you can be focusing on monthly, every month, and then every week. And don't forget to write your goals down every day and look at them. Don't forget to affirm yourself every single day. I'm very much the person that like I have to see it and read it every single day for it to be ingrained in my brain, or I'm out of sight, out of mind. So I know I need those affirmations. I need that. I have a sign above my computer right now that says she created a life she loved. And I'm getting more because I need sayings that like instill it in my brain. So affirm yourself every day, write your goals down, and get a plan of action the night before or early in the morning. Okay, I hope this helped you guys. Any last minute questions before we wrap it up?